On today's episode, we're going to be stripping panels, of course. You guys couldn't handle this. Okay, before we get into today's episode, I just want to talk about this month's giveaway, which is this awesome 94-piece King Chrome toolkit. It's got sockets, it's got spanners, it's got pliers, it's got Allen keys, screwdrivers. It's got it all contained within this mighty little kit. The kit retails down at Hammer Barn for $379. That's right. And you can win it for just $2, all right? For as little as $2. So this is one of our big draws. This is the Father's Day draw. So at the end of August, we're going to draw this, and any of our paid Patreon members can win this. So for as little as $2, you could win this kit. All right, doesn't matter if you're just down as a $2 supporter, a $5 fan, a $10 super fan. If you're paid up on Patreon at the end of August, you will go into the draw for this kit. And well, it speaks for itself. It is a great little kit. I've got a similar kit that I do road trips with. It's fantastic. It's brand new in the box. It still has a zip tie around the handle. I'm not going to crack it open, but that's what it looks like right there. So it is a great little kit. And for as little as $2, you could win this. So it doesn't matter if you're a $2 supporter, a $5 fan, a $10 super fan. If you are paid up on Patreon by the end of August, you could win this kit. So jump onto Patreon, sign up today, maybe win a kit. Well, the weather is starting to turn. Spring is coming. It's looking beautiful outside, so I figure let's work with the door open. So I've been cleaning in the shed, and I found this tin of paint stripper left over from the Rust-Oleum days. The tin has seen better days. I don't know if it's starting to eat its way through from the inside. Don't know, but I think I should probably use it sooner rather than later. So I've been working on the roof of the wagon. I've pulled most of the dents out with the stud puller. The roof is looking pretty good. It is not immaculate. I mean, I am not a metalwork guy. I am not a master metalwork technician. So my aim was always to get it close enough that I didn't have to put an embarrassing amount of body filler on it. So what we're going to do with the roof next is give it a good clean off, and then we're going to put an epoxy primer over it and then put some filler over it. But I don't have the epoxy just yet, so I've got to go get that, and then we will lay that on, do some priming. We'll show you how that happens. But I figure today, why not strip off some more panels? We've got the Easy Foss there to coat it afterwards. So let's use this paint stripper on this bonnet here. For fans of Carnage, you would have seen this bonnet floating around in the background of a lot of Carnage footage in the last couple of years. It's been leaning up against the wall. So I headed down to the workshop the other day with Dad. You picked up the bonnet, brought it back here, and some other panels. So today we're going to mainly work on this bonnet, but we'll see how long this takes. If it happens all pretty quickly, maybe we'll strip some other panels as well. But we've got a tin of paint stripper there, so I figure let's get in and use it. Now this stuff is really caustic. So gloves, eye protection, we'll be laying it on with a brush. So we're going to tip some into one of our ice cream containers, lay it on with a brush. Takes 10 to 15 minutes to do its thing. It may need multiple coats because this bonnet has multiple coats on it. So there are multiple coats of paint here. So it may need multiple applications to get all the paint off with this stuff. But we'll lay it on. We'll give it 10 to 15 minutes, see what it looks like, and yeah, see if it needs another go. Wow, this stuff is, it's aged and it's really thick. Okay, we'll start on this side first. I'll start from the center and work my way out. So make sure you use this stuff in a well ventilated area too, because yeah, it's got quite a smell to it. Right, that's on about half the bonnet, so we will let that go for about 15 to 20. We'll see how we go. Right, so we've given it about 15 minutes to soften, so let's hit it with the scraper and see how much we can get off. So the more you scrape off, the less work you have to do later. So make sure you get as much as you can when you're scraping across. Where it's dried out a little bit, it's definitely harder to make some progress there. So you can see where I've laid it on well and thick, and it's given us a great result. It's gone straight to the bare metal, which is awesome. Where I started here, I went a bit light, and I really should have laid it on a bit thicker. Also, when it starts to dry off a bit, it gets harder to scrape. So we'll reapply this section. We'll lay it on nice and thick. We'll do a couple of those spots and along the edges and that sort of thing. So we'll get straight bare metal. If we can limit the amount of extra work we need to do afterwards, then that's better, isn't it? So I think it's a great result. But yeah, we'll lay some more on to see how that goes. So we've laid that on really thick, and that is definitely the way to go. So we'll give it 15 minutes, maybe 10, and then we'll come back with a scraper. The important part is don't let it sort of start to dry. Once it starts to dry, it gets hard to scrape. So the lesson there is when it's wet and thick, let it bubble up a bit and then scrape it. But yeah, it's coming off really good. So we'll give it 10 minutes and we'll come and scrape it. Little badge holes are causing me some drama down the front here where the Valiant badge goes. Well, that is a great result, I think, because it looks awesome. The front needs a bit of a buzz. I think I'll have to buzz that mechanically. But yeah, the badge holes are causing me some dramas. There's little inserts in the badge holes where it spells out Valiant, and those inserts stick up proud of the sheet metal, and it's causing me some dramas with the scraper. But overall, really happy. I'm going to take some photos for the thumbnail, and then I'll do the rest of it. But yeah, great success. Well, what can I say? I got a little bit carried away with my thumbnail and decided to buzz it back. It looks amazing. So I guess now we treat this side. Let's get the paint stripper on this side. What have we learnt? We learnt we need to lay it on nice and thick, give it time to set, don't let it dry off, and then scrape it off, and then we can buzz it back and the whole bonnet will look like this. That'll be amazing. All right, let's lay it on. Right, we'll give that 15 minutes to do its thing, and then we'll come and scrape it. Should be awesome.
A few moments later.
Right, let's give it a scrape. Okay, one final scraping session and we are done. Oh yeah, that's coming off good. So some people might be wondering what we do with the stuff we scrape off. Obviously you've seen me putting it in a bucket. Now I could empty that bucket into a bag, but that'll get messy. So I'll just call that my sacrificial bucket. It's a $2 bucket at the end of the day, and we'll do this panel and we'll do some other panels, and it'll all go into the bucket. Then we'll double bag the bucket. Bucket will go in the bin. It's a $2 bucket at the end of the day. Same with the gloves, you know. So throw stuff away sometimes, you know. It doesn't hurt to throw away a $2 bucket. So something I like to do after the job is wipe it over, get rid of any remaining paint stripper, any loose material, because you don't really want to be flicking that stuff all over the workshop. We'll wipe it away, throw the rag in the bin. If you do get the stuff on your hands, you will feel it. You will feel it straight away. So handy to have some water nearby. Obviously I've got the tap and the sink nearby. So gloves is probably a good idea for this, but you know, if you're careful, it's not necessary. All right. Let's buzz the rest of it off. At this point, things get pretty simple. So what I'm going to do is use a stripper disc just to take this remaining paint off, and then I'll go over the whole thing with the orbital and bring it back to shiny metal like that side. So I'm not going to explain the process step by step. I'm just going to do it and you'll see the results. Now a lot of people are going to be asking, what was the point of all that? Why paint strip it and then do that when I could have just done that in the first place? But the point is, by paint stripping it, you're minimizing the amount of material that you're actually grinding away. If we just left all, like that bucket is like quarter full. So that, convert that into dust all through the shed. Yeah, it's a lot of material, and then multiply it by number of panels. There is something to say for paint stripping. So I'm going to wipe it down. I'll buzz it with the orbital, which most of the shit's gone now, so there's not much more dust to make, and it should look pretty good. Let's see. So there we have it, one bonnet stripped clean. I know I call it bonnet, overseas you'll call it a hood or whatever, based on where you are. Let's stick with Australian terminology. You're watching an Australian channel, so let's go with that. But yeah, the bonnet is stripped clean. That's not the end of it though. Obviously, you know, we want to paint it, but before we paint it, I want to weld a few things up. So I'm going to delete these badge holes up the front. So we're going to fill them. There was a bonnet strip that run down the center here. We're going to delete that, so we'll fill that. I don't know if I'm going to put a scoop or anything on it at any stage. It will depend on where the engine sits and how all that sits. What I would like to do is try and incorporate those bonnet bulges that the Dart GTS has, you know, or get a Dart GTS bonnet, but one of those is really hard to get here in Australia, so I think we'll be modifying this one. We'll see how we go, but yeah, a combination of paint stripping and then mechanical stripping I think is a good solution. It doesn't fill the entire shed with dust, but you know, you do get a bit of dust around, there's no doubt. But the chemical stripping certainly removes a lot of material before you even start, so that way, you know, you're not just generating so much dust. But now we can coat that in the Easy Foss, So that'll protect it for me to come back and then weld it another day, which I am going to do. I have to either borrow the welder from work or go and buy myself a little welder, which I could do as well. Matty, who does our filming for Carnage, has his own channel called The Nugget Project. Now, he bought a little welder. Check out the Nugget Project if you're interested. He's rebuilding the entire MR2, and the thing was an absolute rust bucket. It was rustier than this car. So go and check out Matty's channel, The Nugget Project, and check out the work that he's done on that. But he bought a little welder, a little MIG, Uni MIG for like 300 and something bucks, and he said it's awesome. It works really well. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just buy myself a little Uni MIG for these little jobs. Yeah, we just need to fill some holes, and then we will epoxy coat it and look at any dings. It's pretty straight, this bonnet. It is a little bit down on this corner. I've got to work that out because it's flat on that corner and it's slightly nose down on this corner. Not sure what that's about, but if I can straighten that out, that'll be fine. But otherwise, it is a pretty good bonnet. No rust. Straight. Man, in cars that are over 50 years old, that is hard to find these days. So we'll do what we can. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there for this episode. Obviously, you would have seen last episode, I've got merch available. Jump on the website if you're interested. Grab yourself a shirt or hoodie or even a sticker. The stickers have been really popular. And yeah, grab something, help support the channel, or jump on Patreon and support us that way. Remember, we've still got that King Chrome set to give away. So yeah, so join us next time. And I think, hopefully, we should be laying some epoxy primer down, getting some work done on that roof of the wagon. Hopefully. Join us then. Man, that stuff smells good.